I choose you and I choose your style, we choose the design together and we do all this, I don't give a shit about what anybody.
Hey there everybody, my name is Rooster Quaid and I am the host for the On One podcast where we talk about real shit with real people. Now if you don't know who I am, I go by the name of Rowdy Rooster and I am an award-winning traveling tattoo artist based out of the East Coast. Before we can get started, I just want to say really quickly, thank you so much to our sponsor, Industry Inks, as well as to everyone who's helped us get this podcast started. It's those interviews and those constant support that allowed us to do this. So without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome, Kevin.
Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited about this. This is our first true dry run for the podcast. I invited you out today, one, to try out a fucking interview, but also get some headshots. And you were like, as long as I don't have to talk. And I was like, I'm gonna make you talk.
It's hard, you know, it's not, for people that don't do podcasts, I feel like it's...
You mean me?
And
you?
Yeah, both of us, you know, it's... You have to have somebody that's very talkative and comfortable with what they're talking about, I feel like, but depends on the topic, I suppose.
I think tattoo artists, for the most part.
Part of your job is
you can tell which tattoo artists are talkative and which ones aren't. It's the ones wearing headphones and the ones that aren't wearing headphones.
I was gonna say I literally wear headphones all day.
You're like, this is my wife. She wore these giant fucking like the super soundproof headphones. Like it's just to muff everything out. And we wrote on them. We wrote the fuck off muffs. If she put them on, she'd wear them around all day, on the flight line, off the flight line, and it basically meant I just don't want to talk to you. Yeah.
I feel that. Sometimes it's just overstimulant, you know? Sometimes it's nice.
I like the overstimulation. Yeah. That's kind of why I wanted to make this podcast, was the fact that I get to talk to people every day. It's kind of my favorite part, because like I get to create stuff, which is cool and all, but like I get to connect with people, which I think is more fulfilling. Like you tattoo a tiny little dumb thing or a big ass thing, and they cry, and you're like, yeah.
I think even when I come here and just hang out with you and stuff while you're tattooing and everything, I have conversations that I probably would never have with people ever anyway.
Thank you for saying that. That makes me really happy. That was one of the things that I wanted to, and I'm still working on a slogan. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with like real shit with real people, because that's kind of what I like about it. Is for the most part, you're having conversations that you would only ever have with your best friend behind a locked door. Eminem said it best, you know, and I talk about that shit every day, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And that connection that I make with people, I want to replicate, and I want to share that with people if they want to listen to it. This content is for me. This podcast is for me. Everything else I have to make to stay relevant to whatever. This podcast is something that I get to make because I feel good about it. And if other people enjoy it, whether it's 2 people that watch this or 200, I don't give a fuck. I hope that people can relate to it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the same when I come and get tattooed by you as well too, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I give you more leeway to do what you want, because ultimately if it's something that you enjoy just as much as I enjoy, I think the end result always is going to come out better.
Well, I mean, and the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, because I'll throw a couple of them up, but like your tattoos are some of my best, arguably some of my best. I got my girlfriend because of the fucking playing card. That was the tattoo that she saw, and she was like, I'm gonna message this motherfucker. And I mean, those are tattoos that you come to me and you're like, this is my idea. I have this idea that I want like this liquid gold concept. And I'm like, that's it? And you're like, yeah. And I was like, what if we do, excuse me, X, Y, Z? And you're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Yeah. So like, I think the more creative freedom that I have, the better the work. And if you go to any painter or any carpenter or anyone who has a craft, we have a way of doing something that is, if there was no one else involved and we just wanted to paint. My paintings look like that. I haven't painted in a long time, but that's what they used to look like. They're super vibrant, there's solid line work, and there's a lot of fucking black. That's how what I, in my brain, visualize as the most aesthetically pleasing. So when I draw or I tattoo and no one gives me any parameters, It's going to be very vibrant, super good on like super thick BD line work, and lots of black. And that's why I think I found neo-traditional, neo-realism.
I think everybody has their style that they come to like, and even myself now with the photography and stuff like that. I'm editing these photos and I'm finding myself doing things a certain way that is appeasing to me, like, and I love the way that it looks. Maybe some people don't exactly love the same thing that I like.
Fuck them, but the people who do are gonna come to you for that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. We talk about branding a lot in the industry. You know, you see some tattoo artists that their stuff looks like they're just all over the place, and that's great, especially when you're starting out. Show people that you're versatile. But then you find people, fucking Andre. You go on his page, you know exactly what tattoo you're gonna get from him, and it's on purpose. He wants to do more of that. You know what I mean? If you do photography and it's like super dark and moody, Need for Speed style, great. You know what I mean? Or if it's super vibrant, beach house at fucking Martha's Vineyard, great. Whoever is looking at your work, they're gonna know what you do best, and that's the person that's gonna come to you. So if you brand yourself, you're more likely to get more clientele, because in the right clientele, versus being so broad that you're just collecting a bunch of clients that are just, they're not really looking for anything particular, they're just looking for something. And I think over time, that will affect you. It'll affect your work, that'll affect your price, that'll affect whether you grow or not. So I think that it's good to find what you're good at and what you prefer and lean into it. You're gonna do photography in a lot of styles. Just post the style that you wanna do.
Yeah, I mean, even now, like, I've done a couple of shoots for people. I've gone places and done, you know.
Where were you for the beach one that you just did?
With Ani?
Yeah.
That was down at a peninsula down the Cape. It's called...
It's beautiful.
Yeah. That place is...
were both of them at the same place?
No, 2 different places.
Oh, okay.
So, like, the whole, you know, I spend a lot of time by myself going to all these beaches and all these places and stuff. And I've just been doing that for years just to please myself. But now that I'm like thinking of it in a different aspect of bringing people here and how can I, you know, capture them in this place and all that stuff like that. So it's cool that like I had already, I guess, done the research on good places for certain things, you know. So I mean, it's working out, and like I post a lot of sunset photography and all sorts of stuff like that. So
lots of beachy shit. Catching
people amongst doing that as well, amongst that beach sunset and all those types of things, I think is becoming an area that I enjoy. I don't think it's the only area I enjoy, but I think it's becoming something that I will make my own.
I remember because how long ago did I first tattoo you?
It's over 2 years now. 2
years. Because it was right. I mean, the shop's been open damn near a year and a half. Or sorry, 2 years, 2.5 years. So I think I tattooed you for the first time. We did the
devil,
big devil boy. We did that, and I remember when I followed you on Instagram, because I was like, I like this motherfucker. The only thing on your Instagram is the shit that you post, and I remember it wasn't that long ago. I was like, dude, I want someone to take pictures of me like you take pictures of the ocean. Like, I wish someone loved me like you love the ocean. That's fucking crazy. And it's cool. It's cool that like you started like really leaning into it, because you've been doing photography for a little while, but you're just started doing photography.
Yeah. So like I just bought, that's my first camera 3 weeks ago and stuff now. So, you know, I deleted my old Instagram that I had like 2,000 followers on from places growing up and all sorts of stuff. And all the pictures, over 400 something pictures of myself, goofy shit as a kid and stuff like that, you know.
With the mop.
Yeah, I gave it all up, and I made my Instagram now that was more catered to posting for what I like and how I want to see myself progress and everything like that. And you know, the people that like it, and I appreciate that. But
well, I mean, hopefully, people that watch this, because we'll be able to kind of link up. That's another cool thing about the podcasting, is like anyone with any kind of business or anything that they want to be more visible, all of this can be, you know, tied. And so my followers become your followers, your followers become my followers. So there's a network of that's really cool. But no, I think it's cool to, especially seeing you right now at the beginning of what this is going to turn into, I hope that, you know, it turns into something big for you.
Yeah.
What was it you said that when you texted me? You said something along the lines of, yeah, if I get good at it, I'll be your full-time media guy one day. And I was like, you know, don't play with me. That's a goal.
Practicing my hardest to be your videographer.
I'm telling you, that's a serious goal of mine, is to eventually have a super successful shop, a large shop that can justify the needs to have a full-time media person, someone who is in the shop, not every day, but like a regular job, fucking 5 days a week, or maybe it's 4 days a week and there's editing days and stuff like that, or whatever the fuck it is. Have your own office in the shop. Take pictures, take videos for every artist. You know what I mean?
Which is super common that I see nowadays, and not
it's
just,
getting more common.
Yeah.
It's getting more common, but it's especially in the big shops.
But even not in just tattoo shops and stuff. Like I see it in like these famous automotive shops and stuff. You know, the office girl is walking around interviewing mechanics while they're working on these cars,
doing
and
the
asking
fucking
questions.
If you could, what's a green light in a client, or a green flag or a red flag? Yeah.
So I think that it becomes more popular and stuff, especially with social media the way it is and everything right now. You know, it's a good area to.
Social media is definitely changing the way that businesses have to function, because being relevant isn't just a Yelp review anymore. Being good is, for the most part, still word of mouth. But the internet is everything to everybody now. You know, if you have a good, strong social media, or even just like a good Instagram page or a Facebook page, you will get more business than 90% of the people in the area, simply because you marketed yourself well. You went through the rigmarole to make sure that on Google you're the first thing that pops up, or any of that shit. That stuff goes a long way. And so I think you're right. I think that that's one of the reasons why shops in any you know, career, if they have a good media person, they're gonna take the bread. You know, they're gonna get all the new clients. They're gonna get the notoriety and everything like that. But that's something you can't really just do.
Yeah.
Like we can't do that here at the shop. Like, even though #1 tattoo shop in the South Coast 2 years in a row since we opened, we don't have money to throw at someone to just be here for the 3 of us artists.
Yeah.
It's just not, it makes no sense. But like Eden out of Texas, huge. They're doing all kinds of crazy shit. They've got so many artists. They do the winter symposiums and the summer symposiums. They do all these teaching, learning opportunities, from painting to tattooing to marketing to media, everything. And they have full-time media people. And those people make good money. They have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have multiple of them. And they're able to do that because the shop is fucking thriving. And I want that. I don't need that level of success, but I can do it. I feel pretty confident in it. But I would love to have someone. I would love to have you, if that's what I can do. It's going to take some time before I'm there. But I would love to have someone who does that and helps propel the business in a very professional fashion. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, I charge a premium price because I offer premium service with premium goods. I don't buy the cheapest of anything. I buy the right equipment. I buy the right shit. I buy the best inks. I buy the best glides, whatever. I want to buy the best photographer. You know what I mean? I want to be able to assure that when you come into my shop, whatever shop it is that I'm at, it's not a transaction. It's not transactional. It's not just a service. It's an experience that I take a lot of pride in sculpting from the moment you come in to the moment you leave. I think that's really important.
Quality goes a long way for a lot of people that care. And unfortunately, like, there is a lot of people that don't
fucking care. Yeah.
Which, you know, people brag to me all the time. I talk about my tattoos and stuff and the cost and all this and there. I got both these sleeves done for $200. So
yeah.
like, I can tell. Which, you know, to each their own. If that's what you enjoy, if that's what you like, I will prefer quality over quantity any day, you know.
I'm in the process of removing so many of my tattoos. So many. Entire left leg, everything from my chest, ribs, groin, hips, whatever, to my entire right arm. I'm getting it all removed, which would cost me a ton of money if I wasn't in the tattoo industry. But it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
And then I get to go and have it done again. But if I had thought about that at a younger age, of like caring about, you know, getting just getting the right thing once over being like, I just want to have tattoos, and getting the cheapest tattoos I could at the time, dude, I'd be saving myself so much fucking pain and money.
Yeah, you know, I have my dad in my ear since I was young. I got my first tattoo when I was 16, and like I can still hear how much he hated it, how much he hated me getting tattoos because I don't know what I want, you know. A 16-year-old kid at the time, I know who I am and I know what I want, which
says every 16-year-old kid.
That's what I'm saying, you know. Now I look back and I'm like, oh, maybe my dad was right. But I also look at tattoos as like, even if I don't love what I have now, it's what I loved then and it's who I was
journey,
then.
yeah.
You
It's
know?
a scrapbook.
As much as I don't love maybe some of mine now, and maybe in the future I would cover some of them.
Got to run out of space first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm running out of space.
Who I is still important. You know, like I said, people change and stuff over time and everything, but I still try my best to remember who I was and why I liked those things.
Yeah, I think it's important. There's two sides to that coin, right? I tell all my cousins that are like, hey, when I turn 18, I want to get a bald eagle, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them, I go, if you want the same thing, if you still want that tattoo at 18, I'll do it for you. But that means you didn't grow up at all in the next 4 years, which you should. I hope that you want something different. It doesn't even matter if it's a cool idea. I hope you want something different because I hope your wants and needs have changed. But also, you're right. I have no connection to this sleeve.
Yeah.
But it was my first it was like my first thing that I got. It was like, that was super important to me. I just wanted to get grandfathered in before the military changed the rules and stuff like that. And it's nothing elaborate. It was cheap. And it was the best I could do at the time. And I love it. I'll probably still get rid of it at some point. Maybe. I don't fucking know. But I think that it again, like remembering who you were and the journey that you're taking, I think is super important, which brings it into like, people always say like, yo, what do your tattoos mean? Most of the time, they don't mean shit. It means it looked fucking cool. Yeah. But even tattoos that have no meaning will mean something to you later. Yeah. Because you remember that part in your life. I got a fucking, what's the Golden Gate Bridge on my fucking ankle? Because I was dating an architect in California once that I met on the internet. I went out there for a weekend, got tattooed with her, and I look at it and go, still pretty cool tattoo. But it's like those memories are crystal clear when you think about them. Those tattoos take you back to that time in your life, and you think of the surrounding moments, the things that led you to that place, and you're like, wild. Never would have thought about that again if it wasn't for that tattoo.
I have a white lighter on my arm. Me and all my friends decided we wanted matching tattoos one night, and we went out. We all got matching tattoos.
What's it say?
It says FYH. One of my friend's dads passed away. Used to say like this saying to us all the time. He would be like, you know, he'd be sitting on the porch drinking a beer. He'd be like, "Fuck you. This is for you, and this is for your horse." And we just like always died laughing at it. And we just, I don't know why, but we took to it and stuff. And that's why.
So it says "fuck your horse."
Yeah.
So you guys wanted matching lighters.
So we all got matching white lighters because at the time, like, you didn't carry a white lighter. It was super bad luck.
It was bad luck. I only carried white lighters back when I smoked cigarettes.
So that's all we ever did.
I'd carry a white lighter because no one would steal it.
Yeah. Every time I put it down, they'd go to grab my lighter and be, oh, fuck that. Never mind.
It's similar to the idea of like Friday the 13th tattoos. Are you familiar with how they like originated? It was like this whole thing of like, back in the day, bad luck was this like entity. And bad luck would go around and it would touch you and it would give you bad luck. But it would mark you with the number 13 that only it could see. And so the idea was that if you marked your body with the number 13, he would come and be like, oh, I already did it. And you would avoid bad luck by getting this bad luck bad luck mark.
That must be pretty safe then. With all, I'm safe from a lot of different things, I suppose.
I got my Friday the 13th. Do you have a Friday the 13th tattoo?
I don't.
No, I got one. I got two technically, but they're both right above my junk. I got it says 13 and the worst. I will not put this up. The worst cursive you could fucking see, and these two red cherries. So now it says 13 and then cherries. So everyone's always like, why do you have 13 cherries? And I'm like, there's no good story. It's just two really bad Friday the 13th tattoos. They are so bad, and they were done by a really fucking piece of shit guy. Oh God! And so like I'm getting rid of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess I'm due for some good luck or some bad luck here soon when it's finally gone.
The Friday the 13th tattoos sell though, man. There's a tattoo shop in the center of town by me, and it shuts down the whole center of town basically every Friday the 13th.
Because of cheap tattoos.
Yeah.
People want cheap tattoos.
People love that, and I drive by that line and I laugh, and I'm like,
No.
you sat in that line for 4 or 5 hours to get this big a tattoo on you that,
Yeah.
it's not my cup of tea for whatever. Somebody else can enjoy it.
Well, I think that tiny tattoos, there's a need for it. Just like walk-ins and stuff like that, there's a need, and there's a business element to it. Tattoos are scary. Tattoos are not only just for the level of commitment, but like everybody knows that tattoos fucking hurt. That's all you ever hear. So, tattoos fucking hurt. But I think that small tattoo is someone getting their first small tattoo. There's people that only get small tattoos.
No.
That's just whatever. And it's trending right now. It's all over Pinterest. It has been for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's fucking, everybody wants them single line fucking.
I do laugh when I see the girls that like, oh, I have 8 tattoos, and it's one traced line of an infinity symbol here, and like one just straight line down their forearm.
But dude, people love it, and yeah, I remember when I first started tattooing, I would talk so much shit about stuff like that, and I think now it's more of I'm like, I can appreciate everything. I appreciate all types of music. I can appreciate all types of tattoos. My friend Izzy, she does nothing but single line tattoos, or fine line, not single, but fine line tattoos. Best in the business. I don't know anybody who does them better than her. And that's her whole thing, and she kills it. She's good at it. And that's an art, because if you ask me to do a single line tattoo or a fine line tattoo, and I can't hide behind my shading and my big bold lines, I'm gonna blow that motherfucker out.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I use the same concept. I use those fine lines, but it's not the only thing.
Yeah.
You can't hide that. There's a talent to that. But I digress. The small tattoos, they're important to the industry because it's getting people to step into something where they can then become more comfortable. So, and I think that's super important. Yeah, you're gonna probably get them covered up, or yeah, you're probably gonna be like, that was my first one. This is my second one. Because then you realize really fast, like, this ain't so bad. I can do this, or at least fool you enough to think you can. You know what I mean? For the most part, people can. It's all mind over matter.
But like you said, even the music and stuff too, I think that I've just become so open-minded with everything in my life that even if something's not for me, I can understand how somebody would enjoy it.
Yeah.
And how somebody might find interest in something else that I don't exactly like.
I think that's a very mature, I think that comes with maturity in general. There's a lot of people out there that are like, oh no, I don't have the same political views or the same religious views as you, or music taste or car taste. I know people that straight up will not be friends with people because they drive a Ford. And yeah, I'm talking about my family. I don't like them either, but I'm mature enough now to be like, the Bronco's kind of cool. But every Mustang can eat shit. But I think that in general, a sign of maturity is the ability to appreciate the fact that even if you don't like it, doesn't make it trash. And that you can still be friends with and I mean, especially in today's age, politics is like really hard, really, really rocky. But like, I think in general, to be able to appreciate the different things that even you don't like is important. Tattooing is no different. There's so much animosity between American trad versus black and gray realism versus whatever. And there's two kinds of people. I feel like there's a lot of types of people in the tattoo industry, but two types specifically that I think are like the gatekeepy kind of judgmental people, and then like the super open-minded, respectful type that are all about learning and teaching and appreciating the different types of stuff like that. And I found that line is roughly right around the sign-in sheet for a convention, because it's all the people that are stuck in their shops and like, we don't want to go out there and do all this other shit, like my first shop, that are gatekeeping and they don't want to learn and they're going to talk shit about other shops, they're going to talk shit about other styles and stuff like that. They're like, no, you can't use a rotary, blah, 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 and all these different things, these stigmas. And then you go to conventions and it's nothing but really nice fucking people that will tell you literally anything you want to learn if you're willing to listen. They're going to be super supportive of each other's styles. You get in line for a competition and every motherfucker's like, yo, you fucking, it's so much different. I think that if you want to find a good tattoo artist, and you want to find a good person who's a tattoo artist, go to a convention. Go to a convention and look at someone's work. See if you like their work. I guarantee, well, not guarantee, but there's a better chance that you'll find a good person's behind that work versus like just going into a shop.
I think you've like instilled into me now that making me go to a convention for the first time.
Forcing you.
It's become like one of my favorite things now is going to these conventions because meeting these people is so different than just like looking at a social media page and stuff like that. Like some people, you know, it doesn't always come down to just the art. If somebody's an asshole and I love their art,
how good their artwork is. Yeah.
You know, it changes a lot of things. And I have tattoos by people that like I didn't love who they were as a person, but I didn't know that because I never met them. You know, I looked at a page and I was like, oh, cool, sure. But now going to these conventions, like I'm super in love with finding new styles of art that I would have never seen anyway, and getting more exposure into all these different people that travel and want to share their stories as well too.
There's a market for you at conventions, dude.
Yeah.
Grab that fucking, every time you come hang out with me at a convention, grab that fucking camera.
Yeah, I definitely plan to now. I can't wait for that.
If that's something you're really interested in, let me know. I have like a whole, as an artist, what I would look for in someone coming to me looking to do that or whatever, especially new. I'll give you the same advice I've given a couple different photographer friends who want to get into conventions, stuff like that. And one of them is she is a full-time photographer for Villain Arts now. She travels with them every weekend and does stuff. So I mean, like I got you. I'll give you a list of things.
I'm into it.
But it's great. It's a great way to start off. But no, I think that conventions are super important. I think that it is really important to find out who's behind your artwork because, again, I could be a fucking prick. And there's a lot of people that don't like me. I'm very uncomfortably genuine in who I am, and that is not for everybody. I think that but you're going to meet people at conventions and you're going to be like, that motherfucker's amazing. Conventions are some of my favorite people I've met at conventions. Almost every one of my favorite people I've met at a convention. It's just so good. The community is really there.
It's great seeing the same faces again and again. It doesn't matter where they're from either. You know, there's Jake Lovig, I think his name.
Okay.
And Wormwood Draws. I followed him on Instagram. I met him.
So I don't know him as Jake. I know him as Worm. Yeah. Dude, love that motherfucker. I met him in Asheville. I'll tag him in this. Asheville, North Carolina. I was doing a convention with my girlfriend at the time. And afterwards, I just won my very first trophy. I just won my first award ever. And it was on a client that flew from California. Love it. Amazing. She's great. Kate DeVolk. You're the best client ever. Sorry. But I had just won for the first time ever, and I was using information that I was taught the convention before that, which was only like a month prior. And I learned some stuff from Andy Large, Andre, and Mizo. Those are like the three dudes that gave me some real big tips and pointers on where my work could really improve. And I love those guys. Those guys are some of the best. They're over at Powerline Tattoo in Cranston. But I then took what I learned, and I applied it there, and I won for the first time ever. And it was the only tattoo I did that entire weekend. I had no luck booking that convention. But Kate came down, got tattooed. We took second place, tattoo of the day color. And afterwards, I was parading around. I was so high with excitement. And Worm and another buddy of his, I don't remember who it was, Worm came up and was like, yo, how do you do that? And I was like, I just learned a ton of cool shit from my buddies, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do. And he was like, really? And I was like, I said the same thing. And then I fucking tried it. Yeah, it's insane. And then I met him again at another convention and another convention. Now I see him almost every convention. He's always like, dude, he's one of the sweetest fucking dudes, and his tattoos are super fucking rad. He is someone that when I open my next shop, my forever shop, he's gonna get it. I'm gonna be like, hey motherfucker, you wanna move to whatever? Because I got a fucking booth for you. Yeah. You can guest spot here anytime you want, or you can come up permanent residency for the rest of your life. I don't care. Even if this motherfucker was a bad tattoo artist, which he's not, I just want to be around him. He's that good of a dude. Yeah.
He is super nice. And like I said,
him and Nina.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always together, yeah.
I have ran into him a few times now, and like, he's from Illinois.
I don't fucking know.
He's somebody that like, I've never met outside of the tattoo conventions, and every time I see him now, he's like, you Rooster's tattoo client, right? I'm like, you know, and he knows all my tattoos and knows me and all this. You know, he's a super nice dude and super down to earth, and we'll just sit there and joke around with you the whole time.
I love it. Conventions are my favorite thing. I've got 5 more this year.
Yeah.
I just got sponsored with Industry, and I'm going to be boothing with them for a couple, and I'm super stoked because that also cuts back on almost all my expenses. Conventions is my favorite thing. I think when I went to open this shop, Banner and Bone, that was my thing was like, I am not going to stop traveling. That's super important to me. For me, it's like getting out of the office. It's a way for me to stay refreshed, engaged, but also I grow. Every convention I grow. And it's not like I'm winning stuff at every convention. I'm learning stuff at every convention. Every time I lose, every time I win, it doesn't matter. I go to the judges and go, hey, what can I do better? And
to be the best, you got to compete with the best, though.
Got to bump elbows, dude. And you can't just expect to go up to fucking the best of the best. And for the first time, you're be like, how'd you do that? They're gonna be like, I don't fucking know. You get lost, right? But the third, fourth, fifth time or whatever, they're gonna be like, hey, I remember you. Like, hey, man. Be like, what do you think? And they bring you in behind the table. You know, you get to start asking questions. Be like, what do you run your machine at? What do you use? What needles do you use? How did you create that effect? That's insane. What apps do you use to, you know, figure out all your shit? And they'll start telling you, open book. And I think that's you can't. There's only one way to do that, and that's to show face. And when you compete with these motherfuckers, even if your tattoo is light years behind these guys, like mine is comparatively to a lot of these people, and Mizo's the worst for this. He'll be like, you're winning. You're gonna win. That's the best tattoo you've ever done. You make my tattoo look like shit. I'm over here standing next to his Mona Lisa, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. But they pump you up. But that's how, you know, you earn the respect. You know, you show them what you can do, and then you start getting on the same level, and eventually you'll do one that looks really good, and they'll be like, no, but for real, that's actually really good. And then you get to kind of start learning from them.
But see, when it comes down to like being the client on the stage as well too, I see all these tattoos that I'm up against and stuff, and there definitely are a lot of tattoos, but it's something about when I choose you and I choose your style, we choose the design together and we do all this, I don't give a shit about what anybody else has, you know. Some of these are my favorite tattoos that I've ever seen on a lot of people that I have, you know, just for myself. Yeah. And you win in my book every convention that I go to.
They say that every time. They're like, when I don't win, they're like, but your tattoo, your client gets your client thinks it looks. I don't give a fuck what my client thinks. If I cared about that, we'd be at the shop right now, tattooing for fucking with no additional rent. No, and I always give them a hard time. I tell all my clients, they're like, but I love it. And I go, I didn't ask you, bitch. You paid me. We're good. I wanna know what they think, and it's toxic, and it doesn't matter how good you get in your career. Every artist that I'm next to when they're competing, they're like, this is my worst part. I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm like, all right, you know. At the end of the day, our egos always take a little bit of a hit when you lose, and there's 2 ways to respond to that. You can either be like, man, these fucking judges, you know, they suck, which some of them do. They do, and I won't drop names. Certain conventions are just trash.
I don't understand how they can have the judges, because they definitely seem very biased a lot of the time. Every time I'm up there, I'm like...
You'll find that some conventions, and again, I'm not dropping names because I don't want to show favoritism or anything like that, but there are some conventions that I go to because I know that the people in charge of running it care a lot about the artists, care a lot about the fact that the competition is what's bringing them there, and they specifically pick their judges to be fair, to be of different styles and varieties, to have no ties to anyone else, and to make sure that they're not entering stuff in. They're not going there with a whole shop where they're going to be like, I'm going to pick my best friend, and those are the conventions that you hear about from other artists that are like, they do it right. Yeah. And there's some that like, I know exactly who's going to win. If Old Boy's on the stage, I know who's going to win. Yeah. That guy, or that guy. And it happens every time. But again, you still got to get out there and do it. Yeah. And if you do win and you're not his buddy or her buddy or their buddy, you know you did really fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been on stage and I've seen them go through check sheets and grade different points of the tattoo. And I've been on stage where, you know, the guy just
walks right past you.
He's got a double shot of whiskey in his hand, and I can't even tell what he's saying. He's just like, that's cool. that one's all right. And it's like, well, you know.
And then the lady with the big titties gets to win anyway. Because she's like, hey. Oh God, there was one where, no, I can't even talk about it. Nope, I won't degrade myself in that way. No, but it's, you can either complain about it or you can be like, all right, cool. What can I do better? And sometimes, you know, even I fall victim to both. So, but just try to learn. I think that's the best way to grow. So like it's still important, and I don't think it's ever going to not be important to me. I think traveling is it's the only reason why I'm at the level that I'm at. I just hit my 5-year mark, and I think that if it were not for conventions, I'd still be at my first shop, giving away 60% of my paycheck every fucking week because I had no idea that that's wrong, and I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am right now. So, but anyway, I think we should probably call it. Dude, for someone who says they don't talk, you did a fucking great job. I think this is worth using.
Doing my best at just pretending that there's not a camera pointing at me. So,
and what's funny is because I'm used to like doing media stuff, I keep wanting to be like, no, but no, I really appreciate it, man. Seriously. Thank you so much. Kevin Coffey. Yeah. Thanks for being my first legitimate interview. Obviously, I'm going to still record things and put them out in different orders and stuff like that, but this is my first like real sit down. I've done a lot with my girlfriend. I've done a couple with her kids.
I can't wait to see the mixture of things, the lighting, audio, you know, just how
I like this. This is really good, but I do want to keep it mobile. I want to keep it mobile. I want to keep it fresh. Obviously, I'll probably lean a little bit more into wherever I am. But I like the idea of pressing it, and I don't want anything to be too concrete. I also just really appreciate you like sitting here with me and help, because like, especially with you having experience with photography and stuff like that, you were huge in finding the right lighting and everything like that, not using the backdrop, whatever. Just let me kind of like bank up my ideas off of you, bounce my ideas off you. So that was really useful. So dude, thanks so much. I appreciate you. I'll give you a hug afterward in recording, but cool.
I appreciate it.
Do you want to link do you want to shout out your Instagram and all that stuff?
So it'll be lastday_photography, which I just made it. So I'll start uploading things to it more often and stuff now as things grow and I do more shoots and stuff like this. So
cool.
It will grow into something. We'll see where it goes.
Sick. Awesome. Well, thanks for being on one.
I appreciate it.
So cool. It's such a cool fucking thing. I thought about bringing in the whole like stay rowdy on my thing. I think I'm going to keep that slogan for my tattoos. And I think I'm just going to say thanks for being on one, because
it's catchy.
It is. I'm always on one. The name of the podcast, I give credit to my beautiful girlfriend. Thank you. It's her idea. It was her first idea that she popped out. And I was like, no. And then I came back and it was pretty good. Awesome. All right. Cool. Thanks so much. Love you, buddy.
Sweet. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Cool.
End scene.
Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy day to listen to Shoot the Shit. It means everything to all of us here at the On One Podcast. Now, if you liked what you listened to and you want to help us out, give us a like, a comment, or even just share with a friend. And if you'd like to join us on set, please feel free to message us on Instagram at OnOnePod. We'd love to work with you. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.